Hi there. A few days ago, Mercedes presented the improved version of the E-Class model. The reactions of people varied between admiring its new look and those who believed that its current shape is more beautiful. So I wanted to give my opinion as a great Mercedes lover, particularly in the new releases. I always liked the old versions of Mercedes, not because I did not try the new ones, and not because I am old fuddy-duddy. New releases from the past 20 years are good and mostly beautiful. I don't hate or love them either. The reason why that Mercedes cars in the past 20 years have been more similar to other cars. Previously, and specifically in the 70s and 80s, there was something called cars, and there was something completely different called Mercedes. Today, Mercedes is more similar to Lexus and Kia or Hyundai. As for the previous Mercedes, they were cars, unlike other cars, neither in appearance nor in performance. Imagine, when Mercedes built this car was the most luxurious car from Audi. When Mercedes released the E200 1991, the 530 was the counterpart from BMW. In short, the Mercedes cars were on a planet, and the other cars were on another one. Apart from the legendary quality of Mercedes that time, try to hear the door closing sound in 70s and 80s models, and try the window glass buttons in any car aged more than 30 years. You will feel it's totally new and will live forever. In contrast, these pictures were taken from new cars. Please notice the poor quality of the buttons and the quality of the materials on the dashboard. So, what happened to the industry giant Mercedes? Is it reasonable that a company is risking its reputation this way? Who thinks the Mercedes car industry is still the same as it was 40 years ago is completely wrong. Those who have tried the new Mercedes models will support me in this opinion. I'm speaking only about the quality, not the technology or options, because definitely Mercedes is a pioneer in the automotive industry when we think about engineering and safety in old and modern times. From the very beginning of Mercedes, it was designing luxury cars and targeting the upper class, not thinking about making popular cars. Even it was used as a taxi in Europe. Mercedes continued till the end of 70s and beginning of 80s to produce three types of chassis, which are the middle class or E-Class, and the upper class or S-Class, and finally the sport class or SL class. Each chassis has several body shapes. For example, the middle class had several shapes. They are Salon, Coupe, and Station. In the early 80s, Mercedes added two categories in addition to the existing ones. The first is the small category or baby Benz and named it as 190. The second is a limited military version called G-Wagon. Thus, we have entered the era of the 80s, which is the golden age of Mercedes. It has a limited number of models, they worked well on them, and they had well focused to show the best specification and performance. The SL series was in manufacturing from the 70s, but still popular till now, and it was mechanically modernized in 80s in order to make it more modern and more powerful. The SL class from the W126 generation appeared in 1979 as a very distinctive and sophisticated car. It was the first luxury car to be designed on the principle of airflow and fuel saving. Then the 190 class or baby Benz category was appeared, and it is the first car that was designed on the principle of over-engineering, to be engineered and designed until the smallest screw, and the design of each part very carefully, so that the final product came out almost without errors. The final product really came out as an engineering masterpiece with innovations that changed the world of cars. Then the model of W124 came after. It was the most advanced car of its time and was released in 1984. All of the cars of its era showed as they were 10 years older. It was very sophisticated to the point where most of its design elements are used today in the modern car industry. In that period, research and development was the most important pillar of the company. It was working on the S-Class models from the generation W140, which took design time longer than necessary, and its budget exceeded $1 billion. All these research and designs cost the company enormous budgets. Then, in order to get these amounts compensated, it was necessary to raise the prices and increase the lifespan of the generations of these cars. Therefore, in that period, the age of each generation reached at least 10 years. But Mercedes did not expect the raging competition of its competitors from BMW and Audi, even Volvo and Saab, and the electronic boom in which BMW appeared, starting from the 7th generation of the E32 and the new modern designs from Audi. All these came at a time when Mercedes models were long overdue. I am talking specifically about the year 1988, when Audi released the AT-E3 model and the E34 was released from BMW. Mercedes, which was controlling more than 70% of the auto market share at that time, had high hopes on the new version of S-Class W140 to sweep the market, especially due to the late release and high budget. But unfortunately, the sales were very weak at the beginning, causing a loss of 30% of the market share in the early 90s. It was on the verge of bankruptcy in 1994 until the appointment of the new head of group, Joran Schrim. This man saved the company financially, but he demolished the company's reputation by reducing research and development costs and manufacturing costs as well. In addition to not limiting the models to the upper classes only, so he pushed the company to manufacture all types of chassis, even the mini ones, and he insisted that Mercedes must level down the production quality, even to reach the low-class car levels in order to survive in the market. The company enters with a Schrim, a mysterious market, and came with one of the poorest designs ever. The A-Class model was released in 1998, and how it was exposed to a design problem that made it fluctuated at a speed of 35 miles per hour. Then we have noticed the poor quality in all releases came after, especially the problem of rusting bodies of the vehicles due to the adoption of water-based paint instead of oil-based. Mercedes reached the bottom between 1999 and 2002. In 2004, Mercedes ranked 9th in the worst quality vehicles ranking. Returning to the opening example of the E-Class, this is the first time in the history of Mercedes that it has made a facelift of a model after only 3 years from the official release, which proves that the original release was poor design. In summary, Mercedes was a unified model run by engineers in one of the periods. But then, it was handled by accountants who are looking for profits and increasing sales. Frankly, they have succeeded greatly, but on the expense of quality, which was one of the greatest priorities of engineers. In the end, I really hope that you liked our video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Stay home, stay safe, and stay tuned.